Welcome to Hawks Nest. My name is Matt Cagle. I'm joined alongside Mark Grogan and Chandler Davis. Today is Friday, May 5th, and it is the last show of the spring semester, and so we're going to bring you something a little different today. We're going to be talking about our favorite moments from all of SEMO sports this past year. And so to start off, SEMO football winning the OVC championship at home this year without a stadium. That was just a lot of fun to watch. The entire year for them was a lot of fun to watch, and they should only get better. But let's talk about the year that they had this past year. Just a lot of fun. Records broken. What did we think?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was really a special season to watch for SEMO football. I mean, Gino Hess breaking the SEMO rushing record to winning the OVC championship to go into Montana. Maybe not how we would have wanted it to end, but still a very special season regardless. And SEMO's always had quarterback problems. Never really like a solid number one. We got our number one. Paxton's our guy, and he's a young QB. He's only going to get better, hopefully. So, yeah, but super special to watch. And honestly, in all transparency, it's kind of a miracle that this team has been able to be as good for as long as they have been with our stadium. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, SEMO has had one of the worst football stadiums, not only in our conference, but in all of Division I football. And your stadium is a really important part of your recruiting. So the fact that Coach Tuke was able to recruit the quality players that he did and to keep SEMO football competitive for as long as he did is, you should never stop singing his praises. I mean, the man's a miracle worker.
Yeah, and keeping with the theme of football and the stadium, this new stadium that we've seen being built is coming along pretty nicely. It should really help with not only recruitment, but also getting fans to want to come to the game and getting them interacting with the football program in this new season that we have coming up soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the stadium right now, it's actually kind of funny. I live right behind the stadium, so I drive past it every day on my way to class, and it's like you can see every day they're adding something on, and so that's the progression of that's been really cool to see. But to your point with that, yeah, Matt, the game day experience for football is going to be completely different next season. So I'm really excited to go to a couple games and see what it's like.
You can tell you now that I've told you my favorite parts of the season. What have you guys got?
Well, do you want to go, Chandler?
Sure. I'm gonna be a little biased. My favorite part of SEMO sports this year would have to be one of my teammates hitting a game winner against UT Martin at home. It was like 0.7 of a second left on the clock. Floater from the baseline. Put us up by 2 to win the game against UT Martin.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was working that game, and I was actually underneath the goal that she hit the shot on, and so I got probably one of the best looks out of anybody. I knew more or less as soon as she let that go. I saw the arc on the ball. I knew that was a game winner.
Yeah, game time. I was watching that game too. It was really fun to see.
And then your guys' win streak too. That was also just a lot of fun to watch. Towards the end of the year, you guys went on a 6 or 7 game win streak, won a game in the OVC tournament. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, we started off conference pretty bad. We started off 0-4. So just like seeing the way that we did end the season, it was 6 game win streak. Well, 7 counting the game from the tournament. So it was just a great thing to see.
Then you guys also have quite a few players returning from last year, don't you? So you guys should only get better from here.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be only going up from here. Can't get any worse.
Well, when you put it like that. Well, I think my favorite moment has to be basketball winning our conference. I mean, I'm a big college basketball guy. I've been a SEMO basketball fan ever since I became a student here. So watching them. Take a group of ragtag players, lots of transfers, lots of first-time SEMO basketball players, watching Coach Core pull them together to make a championship team, watching the Chris Harris's last season and him also breaking the SEMO scoring record. It was just unreal. It was really just a special year for a lot of SEMO sports, and I really wanted. I wrote a column about it. You can look it up. I predicted that SEMO basketball would win a conference championship the next 5 years, and dang it, they did. So I'm that guy. I can't but I digress. It was really cool to watch.
Yeah, and if we remember, that team basically limped into the OVC tournament too. It was an awful end to the regular season. They limped into the tournament, won 3 games in 3 days. It was just that Morehead State game before the championship. That was electric as well. I feel like that game gave them the confidence to win against Tech.
Oh, absolutely. They did it. They won their conference in probably the hardest fashion that you possibly can. I mean, like you said, the 3 games in 3 days was just unreal. And again, maybe not how we would have wanted the season to end against A&M Corpus Christi, but the fact that we were able to, actually play in the tournament, and it was special to see. It was really, 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 really cool.
Not to mention all the injuries they had all season.
There was a new injury basically every week.
That's another thing. They really never played with a consistent roster. So, like that, Adam Larson missed time. Chris Harris missed time. I think
pretty much everyone except Nate Johnson.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much everybody missed a game or two except Nate Johnson. So, I mean, it was just against all the odds. We pulled it together and we brought a championship home to Cape Girardeau, and that's really special for this community. And as a SEMO basketball fan, it was just unbelievable to see.
And then a little more recently, softball won the regular season OVC championship. I know that when that last doubleheader game on Saturday, that was a lot of fun. You had not Marissa Davis, you had Patience Holman come in. She pitched the first game, absolutely dominated. Then she started the second game, she came out, then she came back in to shut them down, gave them the championship. Working at that game, it was a really electric atmosphere after they won.
Oh yeah, the SEMO softball games are always really fun to go to. It's a really intimate atmosphere with you're just so close to the action, and I mean obviously you're seeing the bleachers with all the other all the softball fans. So really cool to see that softball continue their success. They're kind of starting to dominate their conference.
Yeah, they've only one conference loss all year.
Yeah, and they're coming off back-to-back conference championships. They seem to have good retention among their players, so it's cool to see. They're becoming a dominant force in the OVC, and I love it.
And then we've talked about a couple of times how electric field to hill atmospheres are. Every single one of those games have been just so much fun to be at. Stands are packed, tons of students there. Those have been so much fun to be at.
Yeah, I mean, when you offer people free beer, I mean, it's just what's going to happen. Especially the free Jimmy John's, oh my God,
you can't pass that down.
You can't pass it up. You literally, I love Cape Girardeau. You literally can't beat it. I went to the game and got 3 free beers, a free sandwich, and a free bag of chips, and I spent $0. And I watched a quality game of baseball. It's unbelievable. I can't rave about Phil Hill enough. It is really cool. Like you said, it's that hill is just packed with SEMO students, and the atmosphere there is awesome.
All in all, it's just a really fun time to be a fan of Red Hawk sports.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable what this athletics program has done these past couple years. I think you were talking earlier. What was it like? There hasn't been one SEMO sports team that hasn't won a championship in the past 3 or 4 years.
Except for cross country. Other than that, every single sport has won some sort of championship.
Yeah.
And then before that, you had softball's championship I believe in 2019, and I was talking to somebody else before that. I think it was the last win for SEMO in conference in a championship fashion was baseball back in 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. So
yeah, so it just speaks
sports have taken off.
Yeah, it just speaks how good this athletics program has been this past couple of years, and maybe we don't get enough recognition because of our recognition because of our conference, but we've been dominating these past couple of years, to say the least.
SEMO sports is definitely heading in the right direction, but we didn't talk about tennis.
Yeah,
we completely forgot about tennis.
They're back-to-back champions. They played today against Tennessee.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. I mean, obviously that's a really good team in an SEC school like Tennessee, but the way they've been playing, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an upset.
They're sneaky. Yeah. They're sneaky good. I'd watch out. I'm definitely gonna tune into it to watch a couple of those matches because they are sneaky good. So they got a chance to make some noise in that tournament. So very exciting stuff. They play you said at 3? Yeah, play at 3 p.m. today. So you can catch that on ESPN Plus.
That should be a lot of fun. And then can't forget about the conference tournaments for softball coming up soon and baseball.
Yep, absolutely.
that will do it for Hawks Nest Spring Edition. Thank you all for watching, and another thank you to our director, Owen Carando. Without him, we would not have been able to bring you each and every one of these episodes every week. So, for Matt Cagle, Mark Grogan, and Chandler Davis, this has been Hawks Nest Spring 2023. See you later. Mark got swept by the Angels, and we just don't know where to go from here.
I know, Matt. I'm so tired of this team. I'm so tired of talking about this team. I'm so tired of complaining about this team. If you watch that gut-wrenching, brutal loss where Gallegos gave up 3 runs in the 9th, you'd hear a lot of boos coming from the stands.
Lots of them, and I don't think any of them were for players. I don't think
it's just
players, but it's towards the front office and just the managerial ways that the Cardinals have been. All of that.
We have one of the most loyal fan bases in baseball. Despite the team sucking this year, we have the number 2 attendance in the MLB right now. And Ollie has the audacity in his little post-game hissy fit to mention the Cardinals fans. He needs to be careful when he's mentioning the Cardinals fans when we're playing the way we're playing, because we're doing our job. We're showing up to games. We're packing it out to watch this god-awful team. I don't know. He's starting Ollie. If you watch that game, he's obviously that his little tangent there is obviously started where he goes. Yeah, nobody's more frustrated than the people in the clubhouse right now. If you think you're more frustrated than we are right now, you're wrong. That's insane.
Nobody's saying we're more frustrated. We're not out there on the field trying to perform. Yeah. We just know the level that they can perform at. They're not performing at that level.
Nobody was saying.
Obviously, we're frustrated.
Nobody was saying that we're more frustrated than you, Ollie. Nobody was saying that. But all right, whatever. That shows me he's starting to crack. As Tony La Russa once said, if you can't take the heat, this isn't the job for you. You're gonna take some flack as a manager, and I get it. He's a young guy.
Youngest manager in the league.
Youngest manager in the league. And to be honest, I don't think this is 100% Ollie's fault.
No.
You cannot blame the failures of this team on Ollie Marmol.
He has to put out the best team that he's given. And granted, on paper, that's a pretty good, on lineup-wise, that's a pretty good team. They're not clicking right now. We know the starting pitching is not good, so he has to just throw out who he can, who he has. And so, no, it's not all on him. But going back to that game, that brutal loss, he is the one who put in Ryan Helsley in the 7th and then took him out with only 10 pitches after he finished the 7th and 8th to put in Gio, who I will say 9 out of 10 times makes the save. But since they've been on the streak that they have been and then Gio gave up the runs, it all just looked bigger than it actually was. But at the same time, like I just said, he's the one who put Helsley in the 7th. He's the one who took him out when he was absolutely shoving. So, yes, some of this does fall on him, but he has to put out the best team that he's given. And it starts with starting pitching, and it's just not a good starting pitching staff.
It's not. And it's kind of crazy that everybody could see that except the front office. Everybody thought that starting pitching was going to be a problem to start the year, and guess what?
It has been.
Guess what? Yeah.
Adam Wainwright comes back Saturday.
Yeah,
he's not going to be the savior of this team.
Watch him be the savior of this team.
Though.
That would be the most Cardinals thing ever.
Cardinal thing. You bring in a 40-year-old starter, and he locks down the back end of the rotation throughout the rest of the year. But I mean, that's still a veteran presence that they're going to have. Maybe that's a step in the right direction. I saw a video earlier today of a former Cardinals backup catcher. He said nobody was able to manage a team as a player like Yadier Molina did. He said that there were times when he was catching, the manager would go to Yadi and ask him if he wanted to take the starting pitcher out. And so even though he wasn't playing, that's just, at that point, did Yadi have more of a leader presence in that clubhouse than anybody realized?
I think it's definitely possible, and I think maybe we are missing some of that veteran leadership behind the plate. If I could point to exactly
if we could point something that was wrong that wasn't starting pitching, we would.
Yeah, there's just been to that point there's just been so many things. It's just been one thing after another. When we on the rare occasions that we do get a quality start, then the bullpen blows up. Or in that game against the Dodgers
Jordan Montgomery went toe-to-toe with Kershaw. He allowed one run, and then they got shut out.
Yeah, like it's or when we're like or they hitting or it's just night after night. It's one thing after another. Like there's no
one consistency.
There's no one consistent thing that I can point to that's like, yeah, this has been like, well, everything's been bad all year. I shouldn't say that, but
everything's been bad.
Everything's been pretty bad all year. But if I could like say, or if I could qualify exactly what this team needs to do, I would, but I can't. Like
every game, it's something.
Every game. That's it.
Something looks good one game. Something looks bad one game. Then they flip-flop.
That's it.
Either the next game or the next series.
Every game it's something.
Because like yesterday,
else.
offense scores 7 runs, but Jack Flaherty has his worst outing of the year, giving up 10. It's just like if he gives up 4, if he has a Jack Flaherty outing like he has had, that game is an easy win.
Well, I don't think I can't really remember a time where I've been more frustrated as a Cardinals fan.
No.
Because I mean,
we've been frustrated before.
Because you can even like not to put this team in the same breath as the 2011 team, but I was frustrated then, obviously, because I knew that team was really good and they were underperforming, and look what happened to them. But this team is we said a couple weeks ago that like, when is it time to hit the panic button?
Yeah,
the time to hit the panic button is right now.
Like,
we need to start winning today.
What did I say? I said at the end of April, if you're 9 or 10 games out of first place in the Central, hit the panic button.
Yeah.
Guess what?
It's time to hit that panic button.
It's time to hit the panic button.
We need to start winning games today. Like this
today. Have to start with a series opening win.
Yeah, which we haven't done all year.
Which they haven't done all year.
I think we have under 10 quality starts on the year as well. This team is brutal. This team is one of the most frustrating teams ever. We are 3.5 games above the Oakland Athletics, who are bad on purpose. Like,
who are putting out a minor league team, basically.
I can't even.
Which, granted, speaking of minor leagues, I would say on a good day, that minor league club down in Memphis could beat the major league club. That team down there is stacked.
At this point, like just. Yeah, we got Libertor, Tinkins, like it's just.
Juan Yepes is down there. Jordan Walker is down there.
Like that's
Mason Wynn is down there.
Jordan Walker. That's another thing I don't really understand is the decision to option him. I get it. He's young, and we want to take every precaution we can to develop him as we see fit, and I understand that. But at this point, why not just bring him back up? Because clearly we have nothing to lose.
Taylor Motter isn't performing. He pinch hit. I think he pinch hit for Nolan Gorman yesterday, which I heard Nolan Gorman has had some back tightness issues that he's been dealing with. So obviously pinch hitting for there isn't a bad thing, but why Taylor Motter when you have other guys on the bench that you know would put up a better chance?
Yeah, and again, just going back to Jordan Walker, it's just like we clearly are not playing with any sort of intention to win. So why not just bring him up and let him develop in the majors like that? Maybe I'm being short-sighted on that one. Maybe I'm not seeing the full picture. I don't know. But that decision is kind of mind-boggling to me. I would say there's only 3 hitters that are performing at or above expectations, and really nobody's performing above expectations. But the 3 players are Paul Goldschmidt, Tommy Edman, and Nolan Gorman.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Arenado his bats have been better, but obviously he's not playing at the level that we know he can play at. Like Tommy Edman is second in home runs behind Nolan Gorman.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Tommy Edman is not a power hitter.
That's embarrassing.
I like seeing him hit home runs. I like seeing him hit for power, but I want to see Nolan Gorman, Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, and Wilson Contreras lead the team in home runs.
Yeah.
Not our leadoff or 9-hole hitter.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't. This team needs to figure it out because we're not sellers.
We should absolutely
not be selling at the deadline, and I don't even like.
I don't even want to train.
Yeah, no, I'm not. That's not even like that should not be a thought in anybody's mind at this point. Like, even if the team continues to suck as hard as they are now.
Do not become sellers with the team that we have.
No.
And speaking of trade deadline and sort of that situation, and like I believe it was the Nationals when they won their World Series in 2019. It was they had the worst record at, I believe it was either trade deadline or All-Star break, and the worst record in the league. And then they found their way to a wild card spot and won. That's the only thing giving me hope right now. As well as that 2011 team, which you mentioned earlier, was not good, found their way into the postseason and won.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. But yeah, I would like to see us sell some of our outfield talent for some starting pitching help.
There's so many players out there. Somebody has enough trade value to bring in a middle order starting pitcher, 2 or 3 guys. I'm not saying go get an ace. Get a number 2 or number 3 starter, and then figure out where to go from there. Yeah,
I 100% agree. We have a log jam right now in the outfield, and like I said, it's just that. The outfield, our outfielders, we're just oversaturated with them. So we need to trade off some of that talent for some pitching help. Whether Mozeliak makes it happen or not remains to be seen. But if he does nothing at the deadline, I might lose my mind.
Yeah, we know the Cardinal way of doing trade deadlines. Go out, other than Jordan Montgomery, get an old lefty who will somehow stabilize the rotation for the rest of the year. It worked last year. Somehow, some way, it worked last year. But that is not going to work this year.
Yeah,
just a lot of frustration from fans because we know on paper how good that team can be.
Yeah, and no, if I would encourage people to keep showing up and keep booing. Like, if the team continues to suck, boo them.
Something will change.
Something will change. Don't harass players, obviously, but like, just show up and boo them. Boo them hard. Boo them loud.
Make your presence known. Let them know that you obviously showing up, you still support them.
Oh, yeah, you root for a win, obviously.
You root for a win, but some of these decisions that have been made have just not been good.
It really, a lot of this, it's like, oh, wow. Like, you look at some of our trades at the deadline, you look at some of our trades in the past, and you think, oh, wow, a Zach Gallen or a Sandy Alcantara would be really good for our pitching staff right now. Too bad they were never part of our organizations. Oh, wait, they absolutely were.
They were.
And we traded him for the most hated man in Atlanta.
We traded him for Marcell Ozuna.
It's tough times have fallen upon us, but deep down, I think there is hope, and I will continue to watch Cardinals games all year just because, A, I like baseball, and 2, I think that there is hope for this team still.
Something I've always said, teams are going to go on streaks all year. That's just how baseball happens. Somehow, somewhere, the Cardinals are going to find a hot streak. It's just baseball. They have to. That's how the game works.
But not to undersell where we're at in this.
Not to undersell where we're at by any means.
Because we're about a fifth of the way through the season. Like, this is a big deal. Like, this is urgent. We need wins. We need them bad.
I want to go back before we close. I want to go back to the managerial issue. Has it become? I know we talked about earlier is managerial issues a problem, but I want to talk about Ollie. Ollie is the guy that Mo wanted, and so is Mo giving him extra chances? Because if he has to fire Ollie, it will go back and look bad on him because that's the guy Mo wanted. Because you remember, Schilt got fired because of philosophical issues, and then Mo was brought in.
So, like, open to interpretation.
Yeah.
When you say philosophical issues, that makes me think that him and Mo didn't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
And there was some disagreement between him and the way he was running the team and the way Mo wanted the team to be ran.
And then Mo let him go, brings in Ollie, who Mo wanted, and now, a year after Yadier Molina leaves, not saying that he was the backbone,
right?
But the year after those clubhouse leaders are gone, everything is just gone downhill.
Yeah, like I said, you can't. The statement that this team is bad because of Ali Marmol is not correct.
No,
it's not. So
there's so many other factors.
I think that some of his decisions with, namely the bullpen, have been questionable.
Which has been an issue for the past 2 managers.
Yeah,
which is something we're used to.
The past 3 managers,
yeah.
But yeah, whether we need a culture change is, I think, still too early to tell. If we end the season with like
one of the worst records in the league,
then we can talk about, okay, yeah, this team needs a culture change. This team needs a different skipper. But as of right now, I think it's still too early to tell.
So we will, like we said, we will continue to support the team That's what we do.
No matter what.
We believe they will get hot. Like we said, that is the game of baseball, but that doesn't mean we cannot be frustrated about the way the team has been run so far.
Absolutely.